Welcome, friends. Baljor the High Elf Bard here with another story for you. And this one is a 3-part story. This is going to be the first part. The story is called The Leviathan. One day there was a young woman by the name of Alex. She was walking through the forest as was her custom, as she would normally do. And one day, walking through the forest, she heard a voice. This voice was calling to her, calling her by name. She looked around, and she saw a clearing, one that she didn't remember being there before. And in this clearing, there was, floating above a pedestal, a sword. A short sword with an engraving on the sword itself. A very ornate-looking sword, and it seemed to glow with like a blue light to it, almost as though it was magic. And the sword itself was calling to Alex. The sword was named Leviathan, and the sword needed Alex to help fight a fire beast that was ravaging the forest. Alex asked, "Where is this beast that we need to fight?" And the sword said, "Close your eyes, be still, and listen." And so she did, and sure enough, she could hear the animals fleeing and crying out. She could smell some smoke in the air just faintly. The Leviathan sword asked Alex to use it to fight the fire beast, so they could bring peace back to the forest to help prevent the forest destruction. So Alex grabbed the sword's handle and followed the sound that she heard, followed the smell of the smoke to where it was strongest. And there, in that area, she saw the forest was on fire. The forest was burning. Animals were fleeing for their lives. She made her way into the area where this fire beast was, and the beast seemed like a magical creature, just made purely of flames. And the beast started breathing fire at her, and she dodged and rolled to the side, out of the way of the flames, and she wasn't sure how she was going to be able to damage or fight this beast made of pure fire. But the Leviathan sword said to her, "Do not be afraid. Do not worry, because I am with you. I can damage that beast. Just trust in yourself and strike true." So Alex, sword in hand, dodges past the attacks and strikes at the beast with every opportunity she finds, strikes at its flame body, and the beast, every time she strikes, cries out in pain. She is doing this thing damage. Even though it is damaging the forest, even though it is threatening the animals, she is able to damage it. She is able to strike blows at this beast. After a long and well-fought battle, after many blows to this beast was no more, but the forest itself was still on fire. The Leviathan sword said to Alex, "Hold me up high above your head." And she did. She held the sword above her head, pointing it into the air, and a spout of water shot forward up in the air from the sword, and the water fell down like rain. The fire was slowly put out. The forest no longer burned. The animals and the forest were now safe. And then the sword left her hand, hovered in the air, and thanked her for helping it to save the forest, to save the animals. And it said it would call on her again once there was need, once there was another danger, another evil that she was to defeat. But until that day, I bid you farewell. And it flew off back to its place. And so Alex continued through the forest, on her way back home, thinking back upon her adventures, and wondering when the sword might need her next. And I thank you all so much for listening to this tale, and I bid you farewell.